Okay, so hello everybody. It has been 4 months since the winter garden tour. So this is my spring garden tour. And as you guys could see, everything has started to grow all around this garden. So I have put nasturtiums. These are nasturtiums. Random flowers. There's like arugula, a rocket that grew. Some more nasturtiums. Um, I basically the way I garden is just by chaos gardening. So I just grab random seeds and I just sprinkle them anywhere I see. So like right here, there's some spinach growing, some broccoli or cabbage, nasturtiums, more nasturtiums. Yeah, everything here is random. Zinnias, those are zinnias. Um, or like chickweed just grows randomly. The weeds I need to weed out. More nasturtiums. Wild cosmos, are gonna bloom soon. And then I let my radish go to seed because after the flowers bloom, these little things become pods, which you could then use like green beans, and they're very tasty. So this radish has gone to seed, and I'll just use the pods. There's a cucumber in here that's growing. There's tomatoes. Yeah, so because of chaos gardening, I just have a bunch of random stuff growing next to each other. But it's fine because it makes harvesting more fun. And then when you see random things start growing, it makes you very happy. Also, any pineapples I get, I try to plant them and see which ones stay or don't, just like trial and error. So this is just my garden in its raw state. I know if you guys see it messy, I know it's messy. I just need to have time to clean it. Borage, there's borage for the bees. There's other tomatoes here, with some broccoli out here, broccoli here as well. You can see the broccoli, some peas, more nasturtium. My first tomatoes right there. There's some more over there. If you guys could see. There. Some more broccoli. And then right here I have added um, like a clay bottles so that the water leaks into the soil, so I don't have to water them constantly. But I just little extra stuff I've added to the garden. Some more. These are Mexican sunflowers. The hummingbirds love these. My raised garden bed here. So my raised garden bed has started to produce strawberries. The onions are coming in. I might need to pull this one since it does look a little rough. So here's one onion. It's not fully mature, but it was taken from this onion, so I'll harvest that and then let this one take over here. There's another one over there. It smells very good like onion. This carrot is growing super huge, as you guys can see. I might pull it right now. Oh yeah, that was a big carrot. The biggest carrot I pulled. So we have that. There's more carrots growing in there, little ones. There's more over here. I need to take care of this borage because it toppled over and it's taking away from this cayenne pepper that's right there. I'm gonna get rid of all of this borage later today. It's already toppled over, and that way I have cucumbers underneath there. Get more sun. I have potatoes in ground as well as in the pot. I have this cabbage that's coming out soon, looking very big. Yeah, you can see it's pretty big. Surrounded by strawberries, so strawberries all around. If I need to start harvesting them faster because then the roly polies get to them. I need to deal with those roly polies soon. But yeah, look, I have a lot of strawberries. There's a strawberry down there. And then right here I have my little Florida weave type thing going on. So all of these tomatoes are growing on this arch I made. So this arch goes all around, and there's little strings that I have here that support the tomatoes just growing up. We have some tomatoes here. Right here it's just all random, like strawberries, tomatoes, corn, squash. Yeah, just everything random, but I try to prune it as much as I can or remember what things are. But this just goes to show that chaos gardening works. You have soil, empty soil, you just sprinkle seeds and something will stick. And you guys can see it's producing pretty well, especially since the sun's coming out, so now everything's starting to grow. The winter garden wasn't as productive, but we still were able to get a lot of broccoli, cabbage, and stuff like that. Right here we have more brassicas, kohlrabi, red cabbage, all of that. More tomatoes here, and more tomatoes. And then right here we have our red pole beans, red runner beans. They have been here for 5 months. They have finally started to bloom, and I'll be getting beans very soon. There's more tomatoes over there. This is the tomato area. You guys could see that looks pretty dead, but this at one point was one of these things, the Mexican sunflower. They grow very tall and very strong and sturdy. So I didn't want to throw the stem into the compost, so I reused it as a stake, and the tomato started to grow along it. And now you guys can see the beans have stretched out into the stake. So now it's starting to grow all on top of it. I made the mistake of putting the mint in the ground, but it's fine. My family eats a lot of mint, so I'm always harvesting it, and that way it's like I'm trying to control it a little bit. But I planted it next to these strawberries over here. There's an aloe vera that's trying to grow. And here we have the petunias, purple and black petunias, next to this chili plant that's starting to grow up here. I think whenever tomatoes need more space or they're getting too long, I cut off the suckers and then put them in a water bottle, and you guys can see the roots grow from the stem. All of these will be new roots, and then probably another week, I'll find a new home for this tomato. It's just been in this water for 2 weeks now. But here we have celery. I planted a lot of celery in here, so hopefully that starts to sprout soon. Another chili pepper. We have some epazote, which is like a Mexican herb, Mexican skunk herb. More wild cosmos, tomatoes. In this area we have a baby sage. When I planted this, it was very small, very tiny, and now it has expanded vastly. I'm always pruning it and giving people flowers because it starts like getting into this pathway here. I'm always pruning it like right here. I need to cut this since it's blocking this cucumber. I have a cucumber there. And yeah, it looks like very, very messy. My fences are on the floor, but I need to fix that. I also put borage next to the sage. Or like these borage just sprouted randomly. I think from those borage seeds blew over here. And yeah, I just started growing. But the bees love the borage. Although I also need to prune these because they're dying right here. So I'll probably prune that later. Prickly pear, this absorbs lead. So I'll throw this into the municipal compost bin. But everything else goes in my compost bin so I can make my own soil. And then that soil I use to amend the rest of the garden. I have a jalapeno pepper here. All the peppers are starting to bloom with the incoming sun. Right here, this hay, I try to do the root sprout method of potato planting, which is just putting a potato in the ground and then covering it with hay. And the idea is that it'll grow new potatoes in 3 months. So we'll see if that works. You guys can see a little bee just landed on that borage. And then we get to this side of the garden, and this has vastly expanded with the incoming sun and heat. So this bucket is full of tomatoes. There's 4 tomatoes plus any little ones that have sprouted randomly again. We have little tomatoes here and right there. Pretty much all of this will be full of tomatoes in the summer. We have some kale that I took from that kale bed. Since those were getting too crowded, I took a few and I have placed them. So I put 4 in this bucket. I put 3 in ground so they get more energy. And you guys can clearly see that the ones in ground, the ones that are less in one space, are growing much bigger, much softer, more tender, and to the touch they feel better than the ones that I had crowded over here. So these ones I crowded, and the leaves are very small. They look very stressed out. So I'm probably going to get rid of this kale bed soon. And let me know what I should plant in there or what video you guys would like to see. But yeah, I think I'll just be content with these kale plants. These should be able to feed me still. Look at the size of this one, and they're still growing, so I'll do that. Yeah, I have some lettuce for some sandwiches later right here, and then like some kohlrabi right here. And these were all planted in like old shoe boxes. So instead of throwing them out, I put some soil in there, and now you guys can see everything is growing. So like this tomatoes growing from there, this broccoli, like cilantro, it all grows in here. So yeah, just reuse your shoe boxes if you can. There's more broccoli there. You can see broccoli, cabbage forming right there. This is my raspberry bucket. So all of these are full of raspberries. They're coming in very vigorously. This is a second year cane. So this grew last year, but it's regrowing again, and it'll produce more raspberries soon. So my raspberry bucket is doing super well. I have another little strawberry patch in the ground with the bucket with the bottle that throws water into the ground as they need it. There's a pretty ripe strawberry here, so I'll be eating that. I added a rose bush. These already bloomed. This one's coming up. This one's gonna bloom soon. Some cucumbers down there, a chili pepper in there, another raspberry in ground. So hopefully all of this area gets taken over by raspberries, and then we have some to harvest next year and then this following year. This tropical milkweed came up randomly, and in another video I had said that these are good for butterflies, but after doing more research, I think I'm going to cut it because it's a tropical milkweed, and these are not good for the native monarchs of Southern California. So I'm probably going to look for native milkweed and plant it here. Right here we have my blueberry bucket. There's my blueberry bush. It started to take off, and I just need to keep watering it so that it gives me a lot of blueberries this year. This is going to be a second year blueberry bush, so I hope this year I get a lot of production. This is my strawberry patch. I need to water these. They look a little sad, but yeah, all of these strawberry patches next to my lavender here. It attracts a lot of bees as well. There's lavender. It smells very nice. Right here we have bell peppers coming up right here already. Right here we sprinkled alongside pepper seeds from an old pepper that no one ate, and they all germinated. It was successful germination, too much that we had to move some of them into a separate bucket. So I took 4 of those little seedlings and put 4 in this new bucket, new home, and hopefully I'm gonna see if they grow better in this bucket alone or with everything else in this big box. This fence also broke, and instead of throwing it away, I reused it as a T-post. So now the cucumbers in there will grow up here. There's a red cabbage there. You can see it's coming in. There's just a lot of carrots in there, lettuce over there. I need to prune and harvest a lot of this because some of it's dead or like ready to use. I need to get rid of all of it. There's carrots in here. So my spinach started to bloom, so I need to get rid of harvest this patch, this garden bed. And then yeah, more wild cosmos here. The kale is something I need to fix because you guys can see it's struggling compared to like this kale that I planted in the ground by itself. Here we have some yams that I started a year and a half ago, so they should be ready soon, or like not a year and a half ago, like 9 months ago. So they should be ready soon, although I left them dormant during the winter and they're starting to come up again. I might leave them a little longer and then I'll be able to harvest some yams that I started here. And then the last thing is my newest addition to the garden, which is this Dollar Tree vertical planting system. I have a squash there, tomato there, and a cucumber over there, but I need to fill the rest of these with soil and add new plants in here. This will be a nice addition to the garden, and it'll be good for the space that I have. So that's pretty much it for my spring garden tour. Let me know if you have any questions or oh, and of course my lemon tree. That's a lemon tree I started from seed. It's going to be 2 years old very soon, and I'm excited to have my own lemons. Although I might need to graft it if I want lemons to come from seed. And that's why I showed this part of the garden. But since this side gets a lot of shade, I'm only able to grow shade tolerant plants, so not much tomatoes or different kinds of vegetables. Mainly just like brassicas. This pepper actually did pretty good here, so I kept it here. Got like geranium, inch plants, like a lot of herbs over there, and like stuff like that. I used to plant carrots in the ground, but they wouldn't come out big, so I just stuck to these little plants. There's a potato there too, though. Celery, some mint. But I also use this area as my soil making. So I put all my food scraps, organic material, in the ground, and then you guys can see over time it turns into soil that I use in the garden. So that's my little strategy. But yeah, I was saying that's my spring video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you want to see more or what I should plant in the future videos. I'm doing a giveaway, so make sure to comment on this video. If you don't like it, you don't have to like it, but yeah, just comment. Thanks for watching.